Hey guys, welcome to the full moon in Capricorn at 2023. This is a significant full moon in that we are really wrapping up and culminating a period of time with this full moon that has characterized a lot of the past year and a half of our lives, especially in terms of things that we are releasing, that we are detaching from, cycles and patterns that we have been in the process of breaking, relationship dynamics that have been shifting in our lives, and places where we've been taking our power back and we've been gaining a new recognition for our value and for our worth and for specifically our creative potential. We've all been on a journey the past year and a half, you guys, as the nodes of the moon, the north node and the south node, have been transiting the signs of Taurus and Scorpio. This is always a nodal axis cycle that acts sort of like a karmic detox. Whenever we have the north node transiting the sign of Taurus, this is time to wake up and to rediscover the truth of our worth, the truth of our value, the truth of our potential, and what can be grown, developed, and built with that. Meanwhile, the south node in the sign of Scorpio, what toxic attachments that have been stealing our power out of any lack of recognition of that worth or of that value or of that potential inside of us have been causing us to surrender aspects or dimensions of ourselves to some type of external apparatus to attain some type of external or internal support in one way or another. We are cutting the cords on that which has been keeping us from growing in alignment with the truth of our potential, while simultaneously waking up to the truth of this potential that may have been very detached from us for a long period of time. This full moon cycle that we have going on right now is wrapping up the last 2 weeks of this year and a half long nodal transit, this karmic detox transit, and it is simultaneously breaking down some of the walls that have been keeping us separated from our own selves, okay? Throughout the course of this next couple of weeks, we are likely to gain some type of awareness about some maybe deep truths within ourselves, going down to that soul level, that are causing us to make some significant changes in the way that we are perceiving some area of our lives or some area of our experience or some dimension of ourselves or our mind or our perception of reality generally. We're getting a makeover over the course of this next couple weeks, and really heading into the new moon in the sign of Cancer as well, because the new moon in Cancer that we have coming up is indicating sort of a rebirth for us on this soul level, as this full moon leading in to the new moon in Cancer that is coming up is the final release point, okay? This month of July is really kind of like a critical fulcrum point in kind of a more vast span of time, and we will realize looking back that some very significant things played out in this month of July that had some very life-changing impacts, both in terms of our personal lives and our personal experiences, and also on that more macrocosm level. We are in some very shifting transitional times, days, weeks right now. We are in the weeks where years happen, okay? This summer is really going to begin to initiate some significant changes that will play out through the rest of 2023 and into 2024 and further into the future, that are redefining our reality. And as we close out this year and a half nodal transit of the nodes through Taurus and Scorpio, with this full moon cycle, with this last couple weeks, there's likely to be a large emphasis on the past in the context, okay, of these shifts and changes that we're making internally now, that are supporting our soul, that are supporting our growth, that are supporting our process and our progress and our development into a greater alignment with our authentic truth. This is energy that is bringing us to the precipice of starting something new, heading in a new direction, heading off on a new journey or a new voyage, redefining an aspect of ourselves and how we are interacting with our reality generally somehow, that is going to be initiating a new phase of growth, development, and experience for us. Big changes coming. We are definitely at the brink of some very new things that are going to be, we're in situations and all types of stuff that we're going to be finding ourselves in. And it's like this last 2 weeks, this is when the walls are coming down that may have been preventing us from seeing like the actual direction, the actual path that has been working to come together, that is trying to lay itself before us now to move forward in this new direction. So, as we are going through this full moon cycle, as I said, there is a huge emphasis on the past. Not only are we culminating this cycle that has been in play for the past year and a half, but we are also in a cycle, a full moon cycle in the sign of Capricorn ruled by Saturn. Saturn also is very much associated with the past. Saturn is the Lord of time. Saturn is also known as the Lord of karma. And when we're dealing with Saturn, there can be issues related to time, issues related to the passage of time, and therefore issues related to the past that can come up. Now, what emphasizes this past feature that could be coming, this past theme even more, is that Saturn is currently retrograding, moving backwards in the sign of Pisces right now. So, not only are we talking about like what maybe we've built, things that have characterized large portions of our lives, like our roots, where we come from, and how we have defined ourselves in the past. Like, this planet is going backwards, so there is an even greater emphasis on how the past has led us to where we are now and what changes we need to make now to alter the way that the future comes into play. Because like I said, we are coming to the end of a cycle that has been helping us to break cycles, helping us to, cut energetic cords, helping us to detach ourselves from generational karma or subconscious programming that has not been serving us, that has been toxic to us in any type of way, or that has been stifling our growth or stealing our power. And let's think about, what is Capricorn? What is Saturn? Saturn is rules and boundaries and commitments and duties and responsibilities and maturity and limitation and, things being restricted or things being restrained. It also has to do with control. When it's our foundations and its forms and its structures, okay? It's frameworks of things. It's the foundations that are supporting us under our feet. And again, Saturn also rules time. This also has to do with long periods of time. This is things that stand the test of time. And when we have Saturn going retrograde during a full moon in Capricorn cycle, and full moons also reveal things, right? These are also the climax, the energetic climax each month. This is when energy is running the highest, and this is when we have a tendency of getting a fuller form of illumination about something. And I will tell you guys as well, the themes of revelation and illumination are coming through very strong in terms of the symbolism that is present for this full moon. So we will get into that dimension of things as well. But really, this full moon is revealing to us, right, is illuminating to us on some level what we need to fix about things from the past that have been, as we are closing out this nodal transit of Taurus and Scorpio, keeping us detached from the truth of our worth, the truth of our internal wealth, the truth of our value, our potential, and our power. So this is breaking down or adjusting or reworking. First of all, Saturn in the sign of Pisces, this could be our belief systems. What we do and don't believe is truly possible for us. This could also have to do with our self-perception, being our own worst inner critic, how we judge ourselves, maybe learning to see and starting to see ourselves and our accomplishments and our potential in a bit of a different light. This could also have to do with coming to some type of conclusion or some type of revelation about maybe some commitments or some duties or some responsibilities that have been burdening us, that have been too heavy, that have been just weighing us down or holding us down or crushing our soul, that we're realizing these are the cords that we need to cut, or these are, the things that we need to detach from or move away from sort of once and for all at this point in time. This energy energy is likely to have us coming to some type of conclusion that we are finally, like, for the good of our own internal well-being, needing to step away from something, needing to radically shift or radically change something. There could be a major relationship component to the changes that we are being called and compelled to make right now as well, because of a Venus-Mars conjunction that is in a very close square to Uranus in fixed signs as this full moon is playing out as well. So this next couple weeks is marking a point in time where we are, again, like on the brink or on the precipice of some type of major rebirth, major change. The North Node is about to enter the sign of Aries. This is, of course, the first sign of the zodiac. This is the spark of life. This is about something fresh, something new, something different. And it is in this more fated, destined way. This is what we are expanding into. This is our next phase of growth. This is the next phase of, like, soul development collectively that is forecast for us at this point in time. So we are ending something, we are starting something new, we are readjusting belief systems that serve as the foundation of our reality. Some other themes that are likely to come throughout this new moon cycle, then we will talk about the aspects as they're playing out, and then we will talk about the symbolism associated with the aspects, and then we will wrap this assessment up. But how does the way that we feel impact the way that we think? That is another question we may be asking ourselves as this full moon energy plays out, or maybe something that we are gaining a greater level of awareness of or into. What major relationship changes need to take place? As I was mentioning earlier, changes in relationships very indicated this cycle as well, but it's for the purpose of stimulating or liberating our sense of creativity or personal creative self-expression and vitality. There's a need to come back to life or to remove hindrances to or blockages to our life force energy, with Venus and Mars in the sign of Leo forming the square to Uranus. So sudden dynamic change or a sudden awakening to something in relationships that needs to be adjusted as well in order to, like, make us feel more free to be ourselves in one way or another. How have we been taking ourselves too seriously also with Saturn retrograding? And what do we need to lighten up about, perhaps in terms of the way that we're perceiving ourselves or reality or identifying with our egos? Also, as I mentioned, what commitments or duties or responsibilities or burdens are crushing our soul, like weighing down our spirit, and how can we free ourselves from those as well, from anything that is too heavy for us to continue to carry? This is a moon about lightening our load in some type of a way. Again, like I said, coming to the end of something, being at the point of no return in one way or another, and thinking a lot about our feelings as well. We have the full moon in opposition to Mercury, therefore the sun is in a conjunction to Mercury for our full moon. Thinking about, and this is in the sign of Cancer, right? The reason we have a full moon in Capricorn is because the full moon in Capricorn is opposing the current position of the sun in the sign of Cancer, and that is what gives us our full moon, when we have the sun and the moon exact to the degree oppositional to each other in any given signal polarity. So in the sign of Cancer, of course, this has a lot to do with comfort, and it has a lot to do with security, also home, family, early childhood and stuff like that. And with Mercury and the sun in a conjunction, thinking about our feelings, what makes us feel safe, what makes us feel comfortable, and also perhaps what belief systems from the past or from childhood or in relation to our family or our hometown or where we came from that have defined a certain projection of reality that we've been existing within need to be readjusted at this point in time in order to liberate our heart and soul in some type of a way, or in order to allow us to awaken to the truth of that value and stop surrendering our power needlessly to things that are not benefiting our growth at this point in time. There could definitely be a desire to switch things up kind of like fast and now, and suddenly we're more spontaneously coming through, make a radical change to support this vitality, to support this life force energy, positive changes for our general well-being. We may really just feel compelled to sort of like hastily make in this energy, but it is also, you know, there's a strong potential for whatever is happening over this next couple weeks to sort of disturb the peace or upset the comfort zone in some type of way. And the changes that we need to make, or that we're making, or the doors that we're closing, the chapters that we're ending right now, the cords that we're cutting, what we're moving on from, it might not be easy to do. This is energy where it's happening. We know that it needs to happen, like it's happening for the right reasons, but that doesn't necessarily make it any easier. But we've got to have the courage, you know what I mean? And moving forward, that's another thing. Once the North Node enters the sign of Aries, we're going to find ourselves feeling a lot more courageous, a lot more assertive, a lot more independent, and a lot more ready to sort of like take a risk to do something that is in alignment with a more authentic truth, or to, really redefine ourselves in some way, and being less controlled by, the expectation of the group or of society or of culture. And this could be making some ripples and making some waves as well. So we've got a new lesson plan that is coming into fruition over this next couple weeks as well, that is going to be supporting us in the process, of finalizing these endings and moving forward in these new directions. But it could be, it's not necessarily going to be the easiest thing that we've ever done. But, this is, I feel like, what we're sort of looking at in terms of the general themes coming through. This full moon is marking the final 2 weeks of this karmic detox period, significant, long-lasting change being initiated and exposed to us now. Things will draw to an end over this next 2 weeks, and we will find ourselves in a position of finally having moved on from something once and for all, having broken a pattern, a habit, or a cycle. And it's so interesting because the nodes are so relevant right now as they near the end of this transit. And the south node for our full moon, the south node, this is what we are detaching from. This is, those cords that we are cutting in the sign of Scorpio. 2 degrees of Scorpio, that Sabian symbol is a broken bottle and spilled perfume. So again, this is making me think of a broken pattern, a broken habit, a broken cycle, maybe like a broken facade, or a way that we've defined ourselves or that we've projected ourselves up until this point in time, coming to a place where, if it's no longer in authentic alignment with the truths that we are discovering within us, being ready to sort of like shatter that image, shatter that facade, break the patterns, break the cycles, end the habits, right? And prepare for this new phase of experience that is going to be coming once we get through this next couple weeks and enter our new moon cycle. So as the full moon cycle ends, we are actually, it's like a death and a rebirth process, right? But we are likely to begin to feel reborn in some type of a way as we get towards the end of this energy. And it's also very interesting because we don't have any planets in the sign of Capricorn right now where the full moon is, except Pluto retrograde at 29 degrees, one of the most critical degrees in the sign, one of the most powerful degrees in the sign. Pluto is retrograde, and this is the last time that Pluto will be in the sign of Capricorn for the next 250 years. So again, retrograde Pluto backed into the sign of Capricorn, defining the past 20 years for the last time this 250-year Pluto transit, rectifying the past and the future, sort of coming back together to be like transformed in some type of a way. Secrets from the past that have been withheld for a long period of time being divulged and being exposed right now, that has a very transformative impact on both the present but also the future. So finalized transformation, we are graduating, okay? And Pluto is also a ruler of the south node in the sign of Scorpio right now, which is this nodal transit that is coming to an end. So we've got, Pluto the destroyer and also, the generator at the very last degree of the sign of Capricorn, retrograde for our new moon in Capricorn, or our full moon in Capricorn energy, while we also have Saturn retrograding, ruling the sign of Capricorn, and the nodes are in their last 2 weeks of this transit. It can't be more clear, you guys. Like, we are just at the end of an era. This is a fundamental paradigm shifting energy. This is also a cardinal cycle. I mean, we're talking about cardinal signs, Capricorn and Cancer, and we're heading into our Cancer new moon cycle, which is one of the 4 cardinal cycles of the year. Cardinal cycles is when the action happens, you guys. Things are happening. July is going to be crazy, you guys, especially the last 2 weeks of July. We have a big cardinal cross at 29 degrees featuring the sun and Pluto and the nodes of the moon once they transit back into Libra and Aries and enter their new nodal polarity. This is huge, you guys. Like I said, if you guys watched my July overview, like this is life-changing stuff. Like things will not be the same after this. And it might not be, we might not notice it like in the moment, but when we look back, you know, we will come to find that like that was significant. Like that was a major turning point. And it's probably honestly going to be quite tangible feature of our like actual reality and experience as it's playing out as well, just because this is like really, really big. And you know, with the full moon also in these cardinal signs and it being in this last 2 weeks, like this is when it's happening, like in the past coming back in so many ways to redefine the future and to shift the current course in a way that alters, you know, it's like if we were looking at it from like an overhead view, it's like if the past defined the future and we were going to look at the past in order to see the pattern that was going to present itself moving forward, it's like we couldn't do that in this energy because the changes that are happening right now are disrupting the pattern so much that it won't be able to play out in the like typical cyclical way moving forward. It's like this is like such a fundamental disruptions to patterns coming through that it's altering the ability for those patterns to perpetuate. So timelines are shifting and timelines are changing, and things that seemed to be just like never ending, you know, going on and on and on, or just predictable, it's not going to be so much that way moving through this Cancer cycle and moving through this next couple of weeks. So, you know, all of this, okay, in terms of the specific aspects that we have playing out, let's talk a bit about that now. Hold on. Also, let me say the Sabian symbol of the position of Pluto, 29 degrees of Capricorn, a secret meeting of men responsible for world affairs. Like this is really, these are fundamental major shifts that are happening. And again, like secrets revealed, seeing behind the curtain, puppet masters like exposed and stuff like that. And it's for the purpose, again, of returning the true power of things back to the individual, because again, we are transitioning into the age of Aquarius, you guys, and that is an age of self-knowledge and, you know, self-mastery and self-empowerment. And these moons, these activations, you know, this big cross that's coming in and all that we've been through up until this point in time have been preparing us and pushing us more and more in that direction. There is, and as the North Node transits the sign of Aries, it's taking power back season, you guys. It's standing up for ourselves season. It is standing our ground season, and it's no longer allowing like others or the group or perception or judgment to define our actions in the way that maybe we have allowed it to in the past. We can't be controlled going forward anymore by conformity, okay? It's all about the revolutionary spirit, you guys, with everything moving into the age of Aquarius and just the way that this energy is coming together. But for this full moon, as I said, these are the aspects. We've got the sun in a conjunction to Mercury, opposition to the moon, busy, 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 lots of information, lots of news, things happening fast, probably lots going on in the narratives, lots going on in the news cycles, lots of conversations, interactions, just with a conjunction between the sun and The sun and Mercury, very, very, very busy, fast-paced information, and, you know, taking the fast-paced things just happening sort of out of nowhere. The second strong aspect that we have going on is a square between Uranus and Taurus and Venus and Mars in a conjunction in the sign of Leo, stimulating, exciting, fast-paced, sudden changes and surprises to do with other people, to do with what we're doing generally, relationship shakeups, people acting totally weird, and us finding ourselves in circumstances and in situations that perhaps we never could have imagined, but they're purposeful. With Uranus here, there's some level of awakening or some level of divine intervention or some level of rectification or some level of necessary liberation that is the needed outcome of whatever this energy is bringing us. Uranus is expect the unexpected, so there could be some very unexpected relationship or just social interaction based changes, awakenings, again, like I said, you know, going on. But it's also Venus and Mars in the sign of Leo. This is about the creative impulse. This is about personal creative self-expression. This is about our ability to have fun and to feel joy, and most importantly, you know, like to feel alive, like the vitality within us, and to feel free and energized, okay, to pursue our passions, to pursue our desires, to shine, to create. The North Node having transited the sign of Taurus, which is ruled by Venus, culminating this this Taurus cycle. Venus, extended stay in the sign of Leo this summer. It's like this value that we've discovered, this potential that we've discovered, these resources, these internal resources, internal wealth that we've discovered throughout the course of this 1.5 year long transit. Well, now it's time to, you know, really create with that, to do something with it, to bring it to life with Venus in the sign of Leo, the sign of the sun, the sign of that which makes us grow and thrive and shine and stand out, okay, and create. It's this Empress energy that's coming through. So it's like we've discovered all that we hold inside of us, and now it's time to implement that, to step into that, to nurture that, and to see what that will ultimately grow into and lead us to as we're entering this new phase of growth and this new adventure with this new nodal transit that's coming up of Aries and Libra. Now, we also have 2 other sextile aspects going on between outer planets. And while these are more subtle, I do still feel like they're significant in that they're happening together like this. And I feel like they are sort of like paradigm shifting energies as well. We've got Saturn ruling the Capricorn cycle retrograde in the sign of Pisces in a sextile to Jupiter, while we have Pluto retrograde in the sign of Capricorn in a sextile to Neptune in the sign of Pisces. Again, these 2 sextile outer planet aspects in combination with each other, transforming the foundations of perception of reality, right in alignment with all that this other energy is bringing to us. Hidden truths also being exposed. Neptune, Pluto in the sextile. This has a lot to, and they're both retrograde. The secrets, okay, and the deceptive projections and narratives, perhaps, and the lies or whatever, you know, also that maybe we've been perceiving as reality is totally being like exposed and redefined as not what we thought it was. You know, it's Saturn retrograde sextile Jupiter. This is redefining our beliefs based on some type of truth that is being exposed right now. And this is Pluto and Neptune in the sextile, both retrograde. This is like the crumbling of the illusion or of the narrative or of the false perception or of the fantasy or of the ideal even. This is like things becoming very clear, and through that process, us figuring out what needs to be fixed, what needs to be readjusted, so that the new foundations that we're laying are supporting this phoenix energy, this rising from the ashes, this evolution, and this new phase of growth with the Pluto retrograde at the last degree of Capricorn energy that we're talking about right now as well. So pay attention, you guys, throughout the course of this full moon to what it is revealing to you, especially of anything in the context of what you are nurturing, what you are growing, what you are creating, what you are building, what you are bringing to fruition right now. Let's talk about some symbolism that's associated with the aspects. I mean, just based on the aspects, that would be very good advice for us to take as well, especially, you know, this is a full moon. Full moons do reveal things, but the moon itself is happening at 12 degrees of the sign of Capricorn, sorry. That Sabian symbol is a student of nature, lecturing, revealing little known aspects of life, revealing the deep truths to us regarding the nature of our own inner world, with Saturn retrograde focusing on the internalization of this energy right now. We also have this sun always in the polar opposition to the moon at 12 degrees of Cancer. That Sabian symbol is a Chinese woman nursing a baby whose aura reveals him to be the reincarnation of a great teacher. So we've got students and we've got teachers. How can we take these lessons and these revelations? Both of these symbols are talking about something that is being revealed to us. How can we take the lessons and revelations and turn them into a wisdom and a mastery that serves as a true guide to ourselves and to others in the process of whatever it is that we are nurturing and that we are bringing into creation right now? This is talking about the woman nursing the baby whose aura reveals him to be the reincarnation of a great master. There's like our higher self in a lot of ways trying to reveal itself to us right now through whatever's playing out and the experiences that are coming into fruition, so that we can learn and glean the wisdom from that, and through that step into a greater sense of self-mastery and have play a more conscious role in the reality that we are creating for ourselves moving forward. A student and a teacher, and the birth of something very powerful that we must nurture in order to bring the next phase of our own development into fruition. Also, of course, the cycle is being ruled by Saturn. Saturn has retrograded back to 7 degrees of Pisces. That Sabian symbol is illuminated by a shaft of light. A large cross lies on rocks surrounded by sea and mist. So we've got two things being revealed, and then we've got a large cross being illuminated by a shaft of light. And not only that, we also have the North Node, 2 degrees of the sign of Taurus, closing out this cycle, which is so fundamental and such an integral part of the full moon energy that we are in right now. 2 degrees of the sign of Taurus, that Sabian symbol is an electrical storm, illuminates the heavens and the forests. So we've got the position of Saturn ruling our full moon. We've got the position of the North Node, both talking about things being illuminated, okay, from the heavens through a light source. And in the case of the North Node, it's talking about lightning, which is Uranus, which is in the square with Venus and Mars. Venus actually ruling the position of the North Node as well. So there could be a sudden awakening, you guys, that hits us, that illuminates something to us, that awakens us to something, that reveals something to us, and through that illumination, through that revelation, causes us to, really need to make some type of fundamental change or shift, or to discover that there's something that we really need to put our energy into caring for, or to cultivating, or to nurturing, because we're seeing the potential of what that could develop into in the context of our own personal evolution, or us coming to a greater level of self-mastery within ourselves. We have revealing and we have illumination both being described. This is truth being revealed, power being revealed, wisdom being revealed, and faith, okay, that is being illuminated to us. So it all rests and it all falls back again onto our faith. Everything is about to change with the nodes changing signs. We've come to this point of no return because we're finally seeing the truth about things. And that truth is so valuable that it's shifting what has defined us up until this period of time. It's time to fully, therefore, redefine ourselves moving forward, release the past, embrace and believe in the magic and the miracles of the universe because we're seeing them. The divine presence is very tangible and is very real in this Capricorn manifestation in the physical 3D world full moon. And it's guiding us towards, on one hand, a victory over our past, and on the other hand, redirecting, right, the future course that is coming into fruition before us now as we are breaking the cycles, breaking the patterns of the past, moving towards a future that supports our personal, creative, authentic expression, okay? And the cultivation, the development of our potential, of our value, of our worth, of our life force energy, and brings us back to life. That's what I'm gonna say, you guys, about the energy of this full moon. It's a big one, and it's not even because necessarily the aspects are like just out of this world or anything like that. It's just this is the full moon that is ending this nodal transit the past year and a half, that is ushering us into this shift that's happening on the next new moon. And again, you know, with Saturn retrograde, with Pluto at 29 degrees retrograde of Capricorn, emphasis on the past, but how are we changing the past? How are we transforming the past? How are we purging the past to open to like a radically new and different future going forward? So that's that. Let's grab a synchronicity card now. God, Spirit, Universe, what is a piece of guidance or advice that will benefit us as we are going through this period of time, as we are closing out these energies, as we are leaving the past in the past and coming to the point that will redefine us moving forward? You guys, success and victory. Looky there. That's what we need to know. That's what the universe wants us to know and to keep in mind as we are progressing through whatever this next couple of weeks is looking like for us. So success and victory. The desire of the righteous shall be granted. Proverbs 10:24. Like I just said, that's literally the last thing that I had in my notes. This full moon is guiding us towards a victory over the past and redirecting the course of the future. Success and victory. It's coming together, you guys. If you wish to lead a good life, you must have good thoughts. You are on your way. God is working for you. You can be assured of success and victory. So there it is. That's what it is. We're winning, you guys. Despite appearances at the moment, things are moving in the right direction, and success is coming our way. So that's what I have to say. I hope you guys liked it. If you did like this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, you guys. Share it with your friends if you think that they would find this type of information entertaining or valuable as well. Leave me comments, you guys. I'm so grateful for all of you. Thank you guys so much for being here. I love knowing what's going on with you. I love knowing how this energy is affecting you. If you are having experiences that line up with what I'm talking about in this energy, please let me know in the comment section below. I truly appreciate it, and it is valuable information to me. I have a Facebook group, a Facebook page, an Instagram, some other social media stuff. Those are my description box below if you're interested in any of that. I also post these whiteboards in my Facebook group, so if you want to know what these say, that's where you'll find a picture of those. And come back with me later this week, you guys. We have some black moon energy coming in, and we've got a whole bunch more astrology to talk about. I will be here. You should be here too. You don't want to miss it, and I will see you then, everybody. Have a beautiful full moon, and until next time, bye guys.